My name is Brendan Denny. I'm the chef owner of Risata Cucina here in downtown Robbinsdale, an American-Italian restaurant. We just opened a few weeks ago. It's very, very new. Risata Cucina means laughter kitchen. After, spending a lot of time in different restaurants that were really serious and focused, it was this interesting step back of, it doesn't need to be so serious. It can be fine dining, it can be really good food, but it can also be fun. One of our staff and guest favorites so far has been the mortadella spadini. This one I haven't really seen at an Italian restaurant before. Spadini just means skewered, so it's almost like a pincho for Spanish cuisine. It's mortadella that we skewer with fresh mozzarella and then grill it, so you get this nice little charred crispy bits on the edge, but then you get nice melted mozzarella, and then we cover it in Italian salsa verde, which is just like a really herb forward. It's like an Italian version of chimichurri. On top, it gets crushed pistachio and olive caramel. Olive caramel is you literally just make caramel and then right at the last minute you throw in a ton of Kalamata olives. You blend that all up. It's this really awesome mix of sweet and briny and savory, and I could just probably eat it with a spoon. I was born in Elk River, Minnesota. Pasta was, always part of cooking growing up. I had mostly interest in skateboarding and punk rock music. Never really was good at playing any instruments, so getting into cooking and becoming a chef was kind of my way to rebel, I guess. Probably the most nostalgic dish for me is the bucatini pizziola. Pizziola means in the style of the pizza maker. Chose to do it with bucatini because it's a nice bouncy noodle. To me, the best thing about that dish is the smell when you're cooking it, because you're crisping up pepperoni and garlic, and then right as you get to the spot where you drop in the pomodoro, literally it's 1998 and you're at Blockbuster and it's pizza night and you get to rent a video game, and then it gets plated with lemon ricotta, Calabrian oregano, and fennel pollen. It's literally all of the flavors that make pepperoni pizza great, but just done in pasta. I started line cooking in college. It kind of clicked and I treated it almost like a video game. My first executive chef job was Colita. It was almost this weird leveling up thing where I kept working in busier and busier restaurants with higher stakes, better food, better ingredients. So the agnolotti was the first stuffed pasta I ever learned to make. It's carrot agnolotti, so we take carrots and we cook them for hours with a little bit of onion and garlic, and then we puree that and fold in ricotta and lemon, fold it over and then pinch it and then cut them out to make these little envelopes. In the pan, we put brown butter, a little bit of lemon. We garnish it with crushed pistachio, fennel pollen, and dill. American Italian food is kind of known for being a lot of red sauce and heavy cheese, but this is just a nice little light pasta dish. After leaving DDP, Travail was hiring. Starting at Travail was kind of a culture shock to me. I feel like most restaurant menus are 10% interesting, whereas they're flipped, it's 90% interesting. I actually was promoted to their culinary director, so I would oversee Pig Ate My Pizza, Stargazer, Dream Creamery, and then when we opened Italian Eatery again. We did a mackerel crudo there with tomato water, and it's just some herbs and a citrus vinaigrette. The salmon bruschetta here is kind of a little bit of a riff on that. The menu here is kind of just picking up little things that I learned along other places and changing them a little. There's a million different kinds of bruschetta out there. I wanted to make one that more relates to coastal Italian cuisine. So the salmon bruschetta is salmon that we cure in citrus, and we toss it in a citrus vinaigrette, and then it goes on top of a focaccia crostini with a little bit of Calabrian aioli, and then just covered in a bunch of herbs. So it's a really nice, fresh citrus forward. It's layers of flavor, because you have the salmon that's been cured with citrus, then you have this citrus vinaigrette, and then you have an aioli that has a bunch of lemon juice in it and a little bit of spice. I actually found out about the space through Travail. The landlord had asked them if they had any interest in it. We really want to create the feeling of an Italian family dinner table. We make all the pasta in-house by hand. With that, we decided to get all of our flour from Italy, and it's just this one single source flour, lumache alla norcina. That one is from a very specific town in northern Italy, where that's the dish that they're known for, Norcia. So Norcia sausage is made with ground pork, almost like winter spice sausage with clove and nutmeg and black pepper, made with a creamy sauce. We put a little bit of truffle in ours as well, with usually mushroom or truffle ends up being in the dish, depending on, even in this town, you have regional variations in the town. Everybody has their family recipe that they use. Pecorino Romano and a little bit of black pepper on top. You kind of get these little flavor encapsulations, a bite where there's the creaminess of the sauce and just the hint of truffle, and then you get a bite of sausage, and it's, nutmeg and clove, and then you go back in, you get one with a little more black pepper and chili flake. Tartare cacio e pepe, it's diced raw beef. We toss it in a Parmesan aioli, and then we just cover it in a ton of pecorino cheese and black pepper. The flavor of cacio e pepe is just like, it's an umami bomb. It's Parmesan cheese covered in pecorino cheese, so it's like eating probably the closest you can get to just biting off a wheel of Parmesan cheese with the texture of beef tartare. We're taking definitely the spirit and the feel of, either a small Italian town or, an Italian restaurant in the US, and trying to run that through a little bit more modern, feel to it, some more modern technique, but without losing the way you feel leaving those places. You feel full of laughter, full of, love, if that's what you're with people that are, family or friends. You're full of food.